8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The third season of the 5th Youth Parliament held at the Presidential Secretariat. The Indian naval submarine Vagir will undertake an operational and brotherhood visit to Colombo. Wheat flour has been listed under the category of specified goods by way of an extraordinary Gazette notification. The annual Asala Perahara of the historic Ruhunu Kataragama Devalaya begins tomorrow. The practical tests of the GCE Advanced Level Examination will resume from the 27th of June. NATO focuses on protecting undersea pipelines and data cables. The third season of the 5th Youth Parliament is held at the Presidential Secretariat. The President's media said the season was held at the main auditorium of the Presidential Secretariat today and yesterday. For the inaugural ceremony, the Secretary to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, K. Mahesan, and the Director General of the PMD, Danushka Ramanayaka, and the Chairman of the National Youth Council, Pasindu Gunaratne, participated as distinguished guests too. The PMD said 131 members of the Youth Parliament participated at the inaugural ceremony. The Indian naval submarine Vagir will undertake an operational visit to Colombo from the 19th to the 22nd of June 2023. The submarine is the latest indigenous Calvary-class submarine in the Indian Navy. The Indian High Commission said the visit is to commemorate the 9th edition of the International Day of Yoga under the theme Global Ocean Ring. During the stay, the commanding officer of the Indian Naval Submarine, Commander Divakar S., will call on Commander of the Western Naval Area, Rear Admiral Suresh De Silva. During the submarine's visit, the vessel will be open for visitors and school children. The Indian High Commission said visits by Indian Navy ships and submarines to Sri Lanka aims to foster brotherhood and togetherness between the two neighbouring navies in keeping with the India's vision of neighbourhood first policy and the security and growth for all in the region policy. The Minister of Trade, Nalin Fernando, says wheat flour has been listed under the category of specified goods by way of an extraordinary Gazette notification. Accordingly, wheat flour was brought under the category of specified goods with effect from midnight on the 16th of June, as it is an essential commodity for the people. The Minister said the decision was taken to control the price of wheat flour. Meanwhile, the All Island Canteen Owners Association said that the prices of bakery products, including bread, will be reduced only if egg and wheat flour prices are reduced. The chairman of the association, N.K. Jayawardena, said the price of an egg, which was provided for bakery products, should be reduced to 35 rupees, and wheat flour imports, which were suspended temporarily, should be resumed with immediate effect. He added, if the wheat flour price is between 170 rupees and 180 rupees, then the association is in a position to reduce the price of a 450-gram loaf of bread by more than 10 rupees. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The annual Asala Perahara of the historic Ruhunu Kataragama Devalaya begins tomorrow. The traditional Kapsituvima or planting ceremony for this year's Asala Perahara took place at an auspicious time on the 6th of May. The Basnayaka Nilame of the Ruhunu Kataragama Devalaya, Dishan Vikamaratne Gunasekara, said the Perahara of the Ruhunu Kataragama Devalaya will take place on the 19th of June, 45 days after the Kapsituvima ceremony. Meanwhile, the Kataragama National School, the Sella Kataragama Mahavidyalaya and the Detagama Junior School will be closed from the 19th of June to the 3rd of July, as they will serve as accommodation premises for police officers who will be deployed to provide security for the Perahara. The practical tests of the GCE Advanced Level Examination will resume from the 27th of June. The Examinations Commissioner General Amit Jayasundara said that the practical tests related to local and Indian dances, music, Oriental, engineering technology, biosystems technology will be conducted. Local and Indian dance practicals will be held from the 27th of June to the 6th of July. Engineering technology practicals will be held from the 12th of June to the 21st. Biosystems technology practicals will be held from the 29th of June to the 31st of June. He added, the admission card of the school applicants will be forwarded to the principals of the respective schools, and the admission cards of the private applicants will also be sent to the respective addresses before the commencement of the practical tests. Admission cards can also be downloaded 7 days prior to the commencement of the relevant practical tests through the examination department's online app.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara assures that there is no shortage of petroleum products at filling stations. Taking to Twitter, the Minister stated that there is no shortage of petrol octane 95 or any other petroleum products at filling stations owned by both the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and the Lanka India Oil Corporation. The Minister confirmed that there are adequate stocks available at all the filling stations, revealing that the daily requirement of petrol octane 95 stands at a rough total of around 80 to 100 MTs island-wide. He further noted that all the orders placed thus far will be distributed, albeit highlighting that no fuel deliveries will be made on Sunday.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the chairperson of the Dengue Control Expert Committee, State Minister Sita Arambepola, stresses on the urgent need to spread the message on safeguarding fever patients from mosquitoes. The minister highlighted that dengue, a disease transmitted through mosquitoes, can be passed from one infected person. State Minister Arambepola emphasized the need to raise awareness among the public regarding the protection of both dengue-infected patients and individuals with fever until a confirmed diagnosis is obtained. That was Watchlight. In world news headlines. NATO focuses on protecting undersea pipelines and data cables. Ukraine war must end, South African President Ramaphosa tells Putin. Record UK drinking water demand sparks water use restrictions. NATO has established a new centre focused on protecting undersea pipelines and data cables following the apparent attack on the Nord Stream gas pipelines. The defence ministers of NATO members approved plans for a NATO maritime centre for the security of critical underwater infrastructure at a meeting in Brussels, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg said on Friday. The centre will be based at NATO's naval headquarters in Northwood near London and, among other things, will be responsible for creating a new surveillance system to monitor parts of the Atlantic as well as for areas in the North Sea, the Baltic Sea, the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. Efforts to protect the West's critical underwater infrastructure come in reaction to the alleged acts of sabotage against Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipelines in September. Who was behind the destruction of the pipelines remains unclear. The war in Ukraine must end, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has told Russia's leader Vladimir Putin. Mr. Ramaphosa's remarks came as he met Mr. Putin in St. Petersburg on Saturday as part of a peace mission with 6 other African countries. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told the delegation on Friday that he would not enter talks with Russia while they occupied Ukrainian land. Mr. Putin told the African leaders Ukraine had always refused talks. At the meeting in St. Petersburg, Mr. Ramaphosa has also called for both parties to return their prisoners of war and said children removed by Russia should be returned home. Millions of people across parts of southern Britain will be banned from using garden hoses, authorities said on Friday, as a hot spell sparks record and supplying drinking water would be an issue. A temporary ban for people living in the southern Kent and Sussex areas will come into force on June 26th as forecasters predict the summer will see little rainfall in Kent and Sussex. South East Water said demand in June had broken records despite the company providing an extra 120 million litres of water a day. A lack of water for sanitary facilities on Friday forced 3 schools in East Sussex to partially close. Southern Water, which supplies areas of Kent, also issued a warning on Thursday that demand for water in the county was outstripping supply. The provider said demand was 15% higher than expected for this time of the year. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. NATO focuses on protecting undersea pipelines and data cables. Ukraine war must end, South African President Ramaphosa tells Putin. Record UK drinking water demand sparks water use restrictions.
Development News is brought to you by Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
The government plans new regulations to control a nascent gig economy and slap new taxes. Discussions take place at a parliamentary sectoral committee discussion and has revealed that the gig economy is now expanding, and it was proposed to introduce a legal framework to regulate the activity and also introduce a new digital services tax. A statement said the new regulation and taxes had been proposed at a parliament sectoral committee on ease of doing business.
Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500.
And now in sports news, football, Brazil played in an all-black kit for the first half of their win against Guinea in Spain as part of an anti-racism campaign. The South Americans abandoned their usual yellow colours for the 4-1 win at Espanyol Stadium in Barcelona. It follows Brazil's forward Vinícius Jr. being the target of racist abuse multiple times in Spain while playing for RM in the past campaign. Vinícius converted a late penalty to complete a routine win for his side. The latest incident of the 22-year-old being racially abused in Spain came when RM played Valencia in May, with the Bernabeu club reporting the incident to the Spanish prosecutor's office as a hate crime. Earlier this month, 7 men were punished for acts of racism towards the Brazilian. Before Saturday's match, both teams stood behind a banner which said, "With racism there is no game" in Portuguese. Newcastle midfielder Valentin made his Brazil debut and opened the scoring, tapping in a rebound after 27 minutes.
Go ekakthiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The National Lotteries Board has introduced 2 types of special lottery tickets. The chairman, Dr. Chamira C. Yapa Abhivardhana, said the special tickets will be sold at 40 rupees each. An event to introduce special lottery tickets was held today at the Sri Lanka Foundation. The chairman, Dr. Chamira, added the ticket name Jatika Sampatha has been launched to the market under a new name Lucky 7. The special draw will be held on the 14th of July. The tickets Lucky 7 and Jaya King, the newly introduced special 2 tickets, will be available in the market from the 6th of July onwards. The draw of Jaya King will be held on the 28th of July.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, USAID and the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority recently launched a new strategy to rebuild tourism in the island. In a statement, the SLTDA said the launch of the strategy is a strong step forward in USAID's Indo-Pacific Opportunity Project. SLTDA added that the program would further support the industry to bring niche tourism businesses into the formal sector. SLTDA also said pre-pandemic tourism represented 12% of the country's GDP, generating $4.3 billion in revenue in 2018.
Weather report.
The Met Department says cloudy skies will prevail over the northern, north central and eastern provinces. Several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamu central and northern provinces and in the Gala, Matara and Trikunamalaya districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Madakalapur districts during the evening or night. Strong winds above 40 to 45 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the western slopes of the central hills, the north central province and in the Puttalama, Hambantota and Trikunamalaya districts. districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the sea areas off the coast extending from Trikunamalaya to Mannarama via Kankasanturai and in the sea areas off the coast extending from Madakalapur to Pothuville. Showers will occur at a few places in the other sea areas around the island. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The third season of the 5th Youth Parliament held at the Presidential Secretariat. The Indian naval submarine Vagir will undertake an operational and brotherhood visit to Colombo. Wheat flour has been listed under the category of specified goods by way of an extraordinary Gazette notification. The annual Asala Perahera of the historic Ruhunu Kataragama Devalaya begins tomorrow. The practical tests of the GCE Advanced Level Examination will resume from the 27th of June. NATO focuses on protecting the undersea pipelines and data cables. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.